Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another YouTube live here on the Altenew YouTube channel. So I'm Lilith and I'm going to be crafting with you today. So hop on board and leave a little comment so that I can see who is here. And I'm going to pull myself up on the screen. That way I can follow all those nice comments. And it will be a lot easier for me to answer your questions as well. So I'm just going to pull up the Altenew channel. Hi there, Cece, how are you? Okay, I'm in. Now let's just see if I can see myself on the screen. Yay, I'm there. So hi there, everyone. I hope you're all well. So last week I was on the Facebook page and today it's the YouTube channel for a little live session with you and sharing some of my favorite products from Altenew. Lydia is going to be behind the Altenew badge and she's going to be my sidekick today, and she's going to pop in and help me when I don't see your questions or if I don't know the answers, because I'm really bad at ink set names and things like that. So she will pop in and help me when I need it. So there we go. If you're new to our YouTube lives or our Facebook lives, you might not know this, but if you do share this video while it is live, so while we are streaming, and you mention that in the comments, at the end of the live stream, we will pick a lucky winner from those who have shared. So on Facebook, that's really easy. You just click the share button. But on YouTube, you've got a lot more ways to share. You can share on Facebook if you wanted to, but you can also share with your friends, or maybe you've got a crafty friend and you would like to share this video with them. They might find the products interesting and the inspiration as well. Thank you, Sue, for sharing on Facebook. Hi there, Barbara. Oh yes, I'm excited too. So, down here in Belgium, it's rainy. We've got rain the whole week, and it's not cold, but it's not, I mean, it's kind of really gloomy weather. But anyway, don't know what the weather's like where you are. They have predicted colder weather at the end of the week, so we might get a little bit of snow, but I'm not a cold person. I don't like the cold. But anyway, I'm happy. I'm wearing my pink sweater. I'm bringing some color into this gray day. Anyway, so today I'm going to be using one of our older sets. Oh, Cece, it's gray where you are as well. That's why I'm wearing pink, and I've got a really nice pink coat, and so I'm walking around like in town, and it's gray, and everyone's like their black coats and their brown coats, and I've got my pink coats, and so I try and bring a little bit of color. And we're going to add color to our creating today as well. So this is the set I'm going to be using today. It's called the Pattern Play Circle, and we've got another one which is also a Pattern Play one, which is a diamond one, which is also really fun to use. And if you have that, you could create like a similar effect with that one, but this one is really beautiful, as you can see, and I'm going to be using this. I forgot just to pull out my embossing powder, so I'm going to get that. And I think my heat tool is there, but it fell on the floor the last time and I haven't tested it yet, so I do hope it still works. So anyway, so the Pattern Play, you get this large background stamp, and in that stamp you get some lovely sentiments. Surround yourself with people who you love. So it's kind of a set where you can combine the different sentiments. Missing you, sisterhood, smile, thinking of you, circle of friendship, best friends, okay, and love. And then you can see all these circle elements. They are there to fill your background. So I'm going to be showing you two techniques with this stamp set today. And I'm going to be using my Misty tool just because for the first technique, I am going to do a little bit of embossing. And so because my embossing ink is a bit dry. I have taken out a second one, but that one is dry as well. But I'm going to maybe just ink it up a couple of times, and my Misty tool will help me just make sure that my stamp or the paper doesn't move around too much. So before I pop you down, I am just going to get my embossing powder. So just stick with me. It's very easy. It's just over here. Ooh, I'm really bright. There we go. Oh, Barbara, it's gloomy as well. Yeah, they said they would have snow here, a little bit of snow. We're really high up in Belgium, so if we get snow, we have snow. But my tires are completely, we changed them, I think a month ago already, so I'm ready for the snow if we have it. So I've got all my embossing powders. And then I think I'm going to go with a really simple one. I'm just going to go with the white. There we go. But if you wanted to add some gold, ooh, gold. Yes, I might do gold. I'm going to go with the platinum because that's the one, my favorite. There we go, platinum. So I've picked out my color. I'm just going to pop that here on my little table. There we go. So now I'm going to pop you down and we can start working with our pattern play circle. So, oh yeah, and before I forget, I have also prepared a little bit of water, some of my Altenew water brushes, and I've also got my watercolor brush markers from Altenew as well. So there we go, because I will need those later on. So I'm going to move you forward and pop you down, and we can start creating. So there we go. Whoops. There we go. I'm just going to check on my screen if that is good. Oh, I'm not that straight, am I? There we go. Okay, let's just say this will do. Okay. So this is my stamp set, as you can see here. So I'm going to pull off the larger one. There we go. Thank you for sharing, Dorothy. There we go. So this is a stamp set. It's a really large one. So it's 5.5 by 5.5. So it's a square one. And so I've just cut it out to 2 sheets of paper. This one is watercolor paper. You can see it's a bit of, the color is a bit different. It's not like a clear white. And this is just cardstock. White cardstock. So here for this technique I'm going to be using my watercolor paper because I'm going to be using my watercolors on there. You can always cut out your size you want afterwards. I just like stamping the whole image, and I didn't clean my stamp so that well the last time, so I might just give it another rub. Really just going to get a little bit of water. Oh, I'm going to get my stamp cleaner. That's going to be so much easier. I always forget I have it, my stamp cleaner. There we go. Just get a little bit of stamp cleaner. Let's just spritz it on there. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yes. There we go. It's just, I stamped this once with some permanent black ink and it just kind of sticks to it. There we go. That should do. I don't want any black residue on there. Yes, so Altenew has got stamp cleaner. There we go. Nice and clean. Okay. So, and because I've just cleaned it, I'm just going to prep it with an eraser. I'm just going to go over it like so, just to make sure that my ink sticks nicely to it. I'm just going to kind of brush off all those little pieces that are left on there from the eraser. So let's start. So I'm going to ink this up with some clear embossing ink. And this, mine is really dry. I need to go and buy myself a new re-inker for this one. But I'm just going to try and just go over it several times. And I've got another one here. I might just pop this one on as well, just to make sure. I do prefer my Altenew one, but desperate times come for desperate measures. I'm going to have to be very careful with my jumper because it's got these puffy sleeves, and I don't want to go and pop that into ink. Okay. So I've just inked that up, and I'm just going to pop my paper nicely into the corner so that if I have to stamp again, it won't be an issue. And I'm just going to really press this down, and usually what I do with a larger stamp, oh, sorry about that, really, kind of moved it. I just go over it like so, just to make sure I've got nice even coverage. And I'm just going to have a look and see how that has stamped. I'm just going to add a bit more ink because it does feel sticky, but there we go. You can't see anything on the screen. So once again, I'm just going to push my paper into the corner, and now I'm just going to apply pressure. There we go. Okay, I think I'm done. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so I've got my embossing ink on there, and now I'm going to add my embossing powder. So I'm just going to get a bit of scrap paper just to pop that beneath, and I'm going to add my platinum embossing powder. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle this on top. There we go. I'm just going to empty the whole container on there. There we go. Oops. And then I'm just going to flip it over. Just tap it ever so slightly so that any excess will just pop onto that scrap paper. And now this is just like printing paper. I'll just fold this in half and just pop that back into the container. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this to one side. I can use that later on again for something else. There we go. So I have got the embossing powder on there. So now all I have to do is get my embossing tool. There we go. Which still works. Yay! And now I'm just going to heat that. But I'm going to start at the bottom. This is going to be a little bit noisy. Okay, sorry about that. There was a lot of embossing to do. So I'm just going to go over the middle. I can just see when I hold it up that that hasn't embossed over there. There we go. And just look how pretty that is already. That's just a bit of embossing. It's so, so pretty. And it's nice and shiny. There we go. I'm just going to rub that off, that excess. Okay. So now that I've got that, I'm going to add my color. So I'm going to use my Ulta New watercolor brush markers. I'm going to take some, I know purple wine will work really well with the platinum. And I'm going to take some colors that can mix well. Persian blue. Let's go with emerald. Emerald sounds nice too. Okay, I think I'll go with those two. Ruby red, no. Autumn, just purple. Midnight violet. Moss, no. Gray. Oh, I think I'm just going to go with these. Rubelite. Maybe a bit of rubelite. I don't know. Let's just see. Oh, purple. No. Purple, yes. No. No purple. Okay. Oh, do you want me to use the new metallic paints? I can add those as well. Where did I put them? They're still on my desk. So I can add a couple of those later on as well if you want me to. So I'm just going to get some paper. Okay, so let's start creating. I don't want to work on my surface here. So I'm looking for my palette, but I can't find it. Okay, let's just go with plan B. I'm going to use my little acrylic block. There we go. So I need some water. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to the watercolor paper. This will just help the paper. It won't really get soggy, but I just find that the watercolor will move like over the paper really easily, and you get a kind of really free look. And just add a bit of water on the back as well. Okay, this is just going to make it stick. There we go. So I'm going to start maybe with my rubelite. I'm just going to dab that here into the circles, okay, as you can see. And because I've already added water, I'm going to try and zoom you in. Let's just see if I can I zoom you in? Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, the more water you add, it will kind of work its way around really naturally. And because you have embossed the surface, the water will stay contained in those sections. So this is a really fun way to add like that color, and not difficult at all because you won't need to do a lot. The water does everything for you. Oops. Okay, there we go. And you can just add a bit more water, and you will see how that water just plays itself around. Just, it's kind of, it has its own will. There we go. There. Okay, so I've got a bit of that rubellite in. Might just add a bit here at the bottom. Okay, so you can just stick with your colors and just add different colors to different circles. If you want to, you can also mix them. So there are no rules, just play around. And if you think the color is too dark or too harsh, you can always just add more water and just pull the color up. And just by adding more water, the color will just dilute a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's add another color. Going in with a little bit of rubellite. This is so pretty, this color. There we go. Just imagine a whole rainbow of circles. There we go. So this is going to take a little bit of time to dry because I am adding quite a bit of water. So here. And I'm so happy because I really found good watercolor paper. It's so hard. And this one I can get in my craft store, which makes it really, really easy. There we go. Just adding a bit more color. I'm going to kind of swirl it around a bit here as well. There we go. Just add a bit of color here too. A bit of purple. And you can add color to all of the circles or just some of the circles. Hi there, Lisa from Australia. There we go. Really pretty. I love this purple wine. It's such a beautiful color. There we go. And now I can just add a bit more darker color. There we go. Add a bit more water here. There we go. Ooh, love those little swirls. There we go. So let's go in with another color. Persian blue. Oh, that's a pretty one too. Let's pop it in over here. Add a bit of water. This one. I'm going to mix this one later on with a little bit of that purple wine because they are two colors, they mix together really, really nicely. So now I'm just going to add more water. Okay. Such a pretty color as well. What I really love about these Altenew watercolor brush markers is how pigmented the colors are, but at the same time, if you want to really make subtle colors, you can. So there we go. And don't be afraid. You might think, ooh, that looks like nothing nice at the moment. Please do let it dry, because once it is dry, the color is different. There we go. So just going to add a bit more of that Persian blue in here. I just love watching how that color diffuses with the water. It's really, really pretty. There we go. Just going to add more water here. It's such a pretty color. There we go. And I'm going to add a bit of the blue here at the top as well. Just trying to create some color triangles. So like red, red. And I should have done a bit of red here at the bottom. Might add a bit of red there. Purple, purple, purple. we go. Okay, I'm going to show you how you can mix these colors together. Oh, Laurie, your pneumonia. Oh dear. And this is so relaxing. I'm so happy that this is helping you relax a bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix two of the colors. So you can mix our watercolor brush markers, but like with anything where you're mixing colors, try to stick with colors that will mix together nicely, because if you don't, you might get an icky brown, but maybe you want a brown. So if you want brown, just go ahead. So here I'm going to add some of that Persian blue. Just add a bit more. Just going to add some of that water again. There we go. And now I'm going to add a bit of purple wine. I'm just going to mix that in. There we go. And this is just going to create a different shade. There we go. And it's so pretty. There we go. I'm just going to add more purple wine to the sides, and just hoping when it dries, you'll get these different shades. There we go. When I shouldn't do that, I'm kind of putting ink splatters all over the place when I close my watercolor markers. Okay, so there I've got my mix of colors. I'm going to maybe do another one over here. So, sorry, I'm just going to add my color here. It's going to be a lot easier. There we go. There we go. Close it over there. And once again, I'm going to open it here. Just adding a bit more of that Persian blue. And you create this really lovely kind of purple tone when you mix the two together. And if you don't mix them too much, oops. Oh, dear me. Just got some paper. I'm just going to try and... No, I don't need color there. Oh, anyway. Just going to try and fade the color out. I just do a light pink in the middle. There we go. So I'm just going to leave those to dry. I don't have time to do the whole layout. I might just add a little bit of green just to add a bit more color. Green, it's emerald. Okay, so I'm going to do emerald over here and maybe a bit of emerald over here. Okay, this is a lovely color too. Probably another one of my favorites. Once again, I'm just going to pull and twirl the colors a bit. There we go. And here is the other one. I'm just going to add that color. There we go. And once it's dry, the effect is going to be really, really pretty. Sometimes you just need to leave it to dry. There we go. It's really pretty. Ooh. And I'm going to do one more here, maybe at the bottom, maybe this one. This is so relaxing. I mean, if you've had like a really busy day and you just want to do something really calming, a bit of watercoloring. And this is like easy watercoloring. Ooh, here we've got a lot of color. There we go. Just make it twirl and swirl. There we go. Just going to try and pull up a bit of this color. There we go. So that it will dry. Okay. So I've got my colors in there and they are looking really, really pretty. a bit bummed that I've got a bit of light pink, but what I might do afterwards, once this is all dry, I might add like a kind of background color here with a very soft, like purpley pink, just to create like a fun background. But you can see how that looks, and the ink isn't dry yet, but I'm just going to pop this to one side and leave it to dry. And if you wanted to, maybe I could just add a bit of the watercolor, the metallic watercolors. I'm just going to pop them out because someone did ask about them. They are here, and I might just go in with some of the colors that could work well. So I might just pop out the, I might just use aquamarine. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of aquamarine. Yes, they are very, very vibrant, Patricia. I'm just going to add a bit of that aquamarine here, maybe. And it's very hard to see on the screen, but they are really, really, really pigmented and really sparkly. And if you wanted to, you could even mix in a little bit of that other watercolor. Just add a bit of pigment, but you do still have that little bit of sparkle. So I'm just going to pop that in. Just mix that around. And you will get a sparkle effect in your watercolor. There we go. So I've got a bit of that aquamarine in there. And I have got a purple in here, so we might just use that as well. There we go. Just going to add a bit of water. Let's just pop one here. And we can pop a bit of color here. So here I'm going to use, I'm just going to pop it out so that I can see the name. Come on. This is Amethyst. It's a really, really pretty color as well. And if you do have our metallic watercolors, give them a try on some black paper or maybe a dark cardstock, because they are amazing. There we go. And as you can see, they are really, really pigmented. Just going to put another one here. And you can mix them with our regular watercolors too. So if you want to give a bit of sparkle to your watercolors, you can, which is really fun. I mean, it just, the stash goes that little bit further. So I'm just going to pop this to one side, and you can already see how these colors are drying here. For example, you've got this lovely kind of more blue stripe along the edge, and then like the colors are, they are really, really pretty. So I'm just going to put this to one side, and then I can work on our second background, just to show you the versatility of this stamp set. There we go. I'm just going to have a sip of tea because I have got a little tickle in my throat and I don't want to start coughing. There we go. Oh, that's better. So, Misty tool. Just going to pop that back out. Okay. So once again, I'm just going to give that a little clean because I did put my embossing ink on there. Always a good idea to clean your stamps. There we go. So now that is dry, once again, I'm just going to just prep that. So for my colors, I'm going to use black because, well, And then or maybe not black. I might choose a different color today. Let me just have a look here. I'm going to use some grays. I'm going to do a charcoal just to change things and not always go black. So charcoal suit. So I'm just going to ink my stamp up. Maybe put some paper in there, Lilith, because otherwise it won't work. There we go. Yeah. So this is from the Gentleman's Grey set, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure Lydia will pop in with the link. This is a stunning set of greys, and they are really, really pretty. So, because this is a large stamp, it takes a little bit of time to ink it up. There we go. So I'm just going to stamp that, give it a good press. So it is a larger stamp, so if you just go like close it and open it, you might not get everything done. So I'm just going to really press over it with the palm of my hand, just to make sure to get even pressure all over the stamp so that it stamps nicely and smoothly. There we go. And there you have it. Oh, so pretty. So now that I have that, I can just pop that to one side, my Misty tool. Okay. So, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be really, really good. And I'm just going to clean my stamp and just pop it back on there. I'm going to be a model crafter. So that way I don't have to clean anything up tomorrow. Because usually I just leave my stamps out and I just say to myself, I'll do that tomorrow. And then I'll do that the next day, and then they just pile up. So I'm just going to pop the large stamp back onto the stamp set. There we go. I'm feeling so much better now. So here I have got my image. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little acrylic block, because this is going to be a lot easier than if I would use the Misty tool. So I'm going to take some blues. I have decided to use this selection of blues, and I don't know the name, but I can tell you very quickly. It's called Deep Blue Sea. There we go. So the Deep Blue Sea has Sea Breeze, Turquoise, Tide Blue, and Starlight. So I thought I'd just go with the blues today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in those circles. And I'm going to use, I am using these colors because you can layer them one on top of the other and they do work together. So there we go. And I'm going to start with the largest one and with the lightest color. There we go. So let's ink this up. I'm just going to do that again. Yeah, that's better. So, and now all you have to do is line the stamp up with the outline and just press it. There we go. And I'm going to do that with all the larger circles. There we go. There we go. And these are really easy to line up. And this is such a pretty color, the Sea Breeze. Thank you, Suna, for sharing. Yes, it is a solid circle to every circle. Are there any other large ones here? Just let me have a look. I'm just going to pop this over here. There's one over here. There we go. Step to good. And there is one more over here. There we go. Okay. Oh, I didn't stamp that one too well. I'm just going to go over that. There we go. That's better. So I've got my sea breeze in, and I'm going to go in with my next color and the next sized circle. There we go. Give that a rub-a-dub-dub. I'm going to put my sea breeze to the side. Okay. And I'm going to go in with turquoise. So I'm going to ink my stamp up, and now I can start stamping in this color now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp all the circles, so not the largest one, but all the circles which kind of overlap with the larger one. Okay. There we go. There's another one here. And so this is the fun thing with the pattern play series, because you can just play with all these patterns and create lots of different looks just by combining different colors, different techniques, using watercolors, stamping. You can just use the outline if you want to go for something really, really simple. Okay. So this larger one, I'm going to do that maybe in a darker color. But this one I'll do in the same shade, in the turquoise. There we go. So over here. I'm going to add another one here as well. And this blue is making me so happy. A bit different from the grey sky we are having at the moment. So I've got another one here, which overlaps. There we go. And then there's a blue one over here. I'm just going to quickly stamp that. Even if it is over the edges, because if I do cut it down, I do want that color to be there. There we go. And there is one over here as well. So let's just flip this. There we go. And this one too. Here we go. And I might just add the same color blue over here at the top. And then we can go in with our next shade, which is Tide Blue. Oh yes, Laurie, I don't want to start coughing. I'll just let you do that. Poor you. There we go. So now let's do the next one, which is this one. So I'm just working my way through the different sized circles, going from the largest one to the smallest one. So Tide Blue, which is a stunning blue. Oh yes, Lydia is a star. Putting all those links in really helps. So what I'm going to do now, so same thing, the little overlapping dots, I'm going to leave them as such for them at the moment, but I'm just going to fill in those full outlines with the Tide Blue. So those which are touching or overlapping the turquoise circles. There we go. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yes, these colors are stunning. And I usually just use, I like using like pinks and greens, so I thought it'd be nice to use like a beautiful blue, and these are stunning. And you will see the next blue is really the darkest one. The Starlight is stunning as well. It's such a pretty blue. So I'm just working my way around, and now that I've got, I think, all the overlapping circles, I'm just going to add this one in. Afterwards, you can go in with a lighter color if you want to add like more to the medium sized circles. But I'm just going to work my way through to the smallest ones, and then when I'm finished, I can add the lighter ones again if I want to. So might just add another one over here, no, maybe over here. There we go. Okay. And you don't need to ink all of them. I mean, you can just like say, oh, I'm done. I'm going to leave a couple of them just white. So next one, which is a teeny tiny one, and maybe I should get my smaller acrylic block, the smallest one. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. It's going to be a lot easier using the smaller one. So now I'm going to go in with my darkest color, which is Starlight. So let's just ink this up and start inking. This one is really dark. You can see it here. It's really, really dark and really, really vibrant. But I might go in with the size up as well with this Starlight, just to add more of that depth. There we go. It's such a pretty color. Just having a look. Over here. Okay. I'm going to go, once again, I'm going to go to the larger one and just ink that up with the Starlight as well, just because it's such a beautiful color. And I'm just going to fill in those I haven't done yet. Oh, it's so pretty. There we go. Oops. There we go. Just look at all those. The white thing I'm rubbing, this, Nori, it's just an eraser. It helps me prep my stamps, and that way the ink doesn't pearl on top, and you get a nice crisp finished image. So there you have it. Just seeing if I've got all of that ink. There we go. Pretty happy with how that is already looking. And now I'm going to go in with my second largest one again. I'm going to go back to my lightest color. So let's go all the way back. Sea Breeze. I'm just going to fill in some of those empty spots. There we go. And if you wanted to, you could use two colors, mixing a blue with a pink or a yellow or a green. It's just really fun to see all these colors overlap. There we go. Let's just fill this in a bit more. I'm trying to speed up the whole process, so I'm not lining them up really well. So sorry. Oops. Come on. Bit of scrap paper. There we go. And I just love how these colors look when they start overlapping. Really, really pretty. There we go. Okay. I think I'm done with that. And I do have a couple more spots I forgot. So I'm just going to take this one again and go in maybe with, not the turquoise, but I might go in with the tide blue again, because I haven't added a lot of that. So just going to add a bit more tide blue. There we go, over here. Okay, more tide blue somewhere. Here maybe. Yep. There we go. So you can also just use these stamps separately. So I might just show that on my, maybe a scrap piece of paper. Just if you wanted to, you could just take some simple white paper and just create some simple stamping just like so. I mean, you don't need the outline, just using the circle stamps as such will work. There we go. So here you can see how this is turning out. Now I do want to add maybe an extra color, and I really like adding gold. So I might use pink and gold. If you go to the scrapbook blog today, you will see I combined pink and gold. So I thought it'd be nice just to add a bit of gold to this as well. So with the smaller one, I'm going to fill in these kind of little, they look like a diamond ring to me. So I'm just going to fill those in. Okay, using the Ultimate Metallic Gold, Antique Gold pigment ink. So I'm just going to ink up my little stamp here. Give it a good ink. I'm just going to add that. Now this is a bit harder because it's a pigment ink, so I can't really see through it. So lining it up is going to be a bit difficult, but I'm just going to add that. And it's really, really pretty. Oops, I didn't do that all too well. There we go. There we go. It overlaps a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I just want to add a bit of gold. Now do be careful when you add pigment ink because it does take longer to dry. So don't go rub over the image because you might just kind of smudge it out a little bit. So be very careful. So what I usually do is I will turn if I want to go to like more in a corner. So I think I've added enough with this color now. So there we go. And I'm just going to take the smallest one now and just add a couple of little gold touches in the center. So this is really easy to do, no lining up, because you're just going to pop them in. Ooh, that one didn't go all too well. I'm just going to add a bit more. There we go. So ever so gently. It is very pigmented and really, really pretty here in the middle. There we go. Just a little bit of gold in there. And now I've got gold fingers. Yay! There we go. Okay. So there you have it. I've got my background all done. So I'm just going to maybe heat set this with the gold ink. That way I can cut out a card panel and just add a sentiment. There we go. So I'm just going to go out of the screen just for a little bit, because I'm going to just cut out the paper. It's going to be really quick. So let's cut this out. Okay. Oopsie-daisy. So I didn't cut it out too well. I'm going to cut it a bit smaller. That's okay. Let's just cut this a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so here you can see I've finished cutting that out. Okay, and now I need to add a sentiment. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to create a sentiment strip. So I'm just going to cut out a strip of white cardstock and just find a sentiment that will fit the strip. So that's my strip of cardstock. And let's see, I might just add a bit of color to my little sentiment, my strip there. No, I haven't used this one yet. So I'm just going to get that sea breeze again. I'm just going to add a bit of color. So I'm just going to blend some color into my little strip, just to add a bit of interest. There we go. There we go. So I've got my ink on there. And now I'm going to take some black ink because I do need a little bit of contrast. So I need a little sentiment that will fit my strip. So let's just have a look. Thinking of you would go. A circle of friendship would work really well. Which one I'm going to do? Circle of friendship. Thinking circle of friendship it's going to be. There we go. And I might just need a larger stamping block. There we go. And just stamp that on there. And it's sticking on there. Well, there we go. So, circle of friendship. And now I'm just going to pop that on to some little foam dots. There we go, 1, 2. And I've got inky fingers. I'm just going to pop that maybe here at the bottom. And what I might do is I don't know if it's that really straight. No, it's okay. I'm going to mat this onto some cardstock. So I'm going to have to go through my cardstock and maybe find a dark shade of blue like so, and then mat the card onto that. There we go. So I'm going to pop you back up. First, I'm going to zoom you out again, because otherwise I'm going to be very large, or you will just see my face. Okay, and I'm just going to show you what I created, and I can also show you the dried effect, but almost dry effect of the watercolor we did earlier on. So I'm going to pop you back up. Here we go. There we go. Oh, I'm back. Just going to move you back a bit. There we go. So, oh, an hour goes so quickly. So today I used the Pattern Play stamp set, the Pattern Play circle stamp set. We've also got a diamond one. So if you prefer using diamonds, we also have that one to play with. And it works on the same principle of you get this outline and you can add colors in with the separate stamps. Okay. And for example, the smile will fit into the largest one. So if you wanted to, you could even add like smile, smile, smile in the largest ones. If you wanted to, you can see it here on the back. There's an example there. So what did I do? First, what I did is I embossed the background with some embossing ink and then added some platinum embossing powder. And then I added watercolor brush marker colors to it, and you can see how that has dried, and some have a more uniform color and others have this nice little kind of graded look, and it's really, really pretty. There we go. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and hold it up, but there you can see I added the metallic to that one, and here in the and the other one at the top there, and you can see it kind of shimmering as I hold it up. So you can add your metallics to that as well and just mix them in with your usual watercolors if you've got the watercolor pan, or with our watercolor brush markers. Then what I did is I went in and stamped in with some gray ink. I used charcoal soot and just stamped the background image. And then I just filled it with lots of shades of blue, and I used the, already forgotten the name, the Deep Blue Sea. I'm just having a look on my chart, sorry. So the Deep Blue Sea ink set. And there you go. And I added a little sentiment. I'm just adding a bit of color to the background as well, just to tie everything together. So there you go. I also added a little bit of gold to that, so it does have a little bit of shine and a little bit of shimmer. I really love these Altenew gold pigment inks. They are really, really pretty. There we go. And if you try them on black paper or really dark blue, they are stunning. And if you get the metallic watercolors, use them on your regular watercolor paper. They are beautiful, but if you do get a chance to work with them on really dark paper, you will just see the colors are amazing and so different from when you use them on just regular watercolor paper. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've learned something new, and maybe that you've discovered a new product. And I hope to see you very soon with more inspiration from Altenew. A big thank you to all of you who have watched today and who have shared. It means the world to us. And a huge thank you and a big hug to Lydia for being there and putting all the links in the comments. So there you have it. I wish you a happy day, a lovely afternoon, a lovely morning if you're in Australia, and for me it's going to be a good night. So see you soon. Bye bye.